The year 2024 brought a lot of technical changes to survival Minecraft. Let's take a look at all the best ones and see how the changes introduced new farms and machines. The first thing came early 2024 and they changed the spawn chunks from being this huge area all the way down to just being this small area, with the amount of entity process chunks being the green ones significantly reduced, so now there's only 9 of them. And these spawn chunks are really useful as these are the only chunks that will stay loaded when there's no players online. So with this technical change, it means that all the playerless farms will have to be squished in this 2x2 area, and I cover every single type of farm that doesn't need a player in this video here, which you can find all the videos I mentioned linked in the description. They also came in with a more consistent end dimension loading. Now it's been possible to load the end dimension without a player since a very long time. I actually discovered it many years ago, but only in 2024 did they make it a recognized feature, so we can continue to load end dimension just by items coming into the Obsidian platform from the entrance end portals, which will automatically load this 3x3 chunk area without no player even needing to be in the end dimension. And you can learn how you can chunk load as well as end dimension chunk loading in these videos. Then we got the smarter hoppers, when before the hoppers will not check for items if there was some type of container above them. But then we got the smarter ones, which won't check for items above them as long as there is a full cubed block above them, with the exceptions being the 2 beehives. So my simple honey farms will work, and even ones with villager crop farms in them. But we also get the reduction of lag by doing something like this, and this is why you might see more people having full blocks above their hoppers instead of composters. Do me a big favor and click that like button. We also got the introduction that breezes will drop loot now, which meant my trial key farm here had to get updated. So now we can actually have the breezes not only give us keys, but we can also collect the breezes and loot them for their breeze rods. And with the breezes wind charges or the wind charge item loot, you can make massive explosions, such as a small redstone machine which can instant kill the dragon, the wither, and even the warden. And I use these damageless explosions to launch the player or ender pearl really far away. And because you get both types of trial keys, you can make a farm to get infinite amounts of mace as well as enchanted golden apples. That's because these vaults can be reset after being used by a whole bunch of players. We then got the bog mob, but unfortunately it didn't give us any technical uses. We also got a technical weapon which you can easily use to drop out of the sky and one-hit any mob in the game if you fall far enough. But this is more for skilled players as it takes quite a bit of practice. We then got the introduction of ominous bottles, which we now have to drink in order to start the next raid. This first nerf to raid farms made it so that most of the old raid farms could still be used, though they became quite manual and the raids got significantly reduced. But later in the video we'll talk about how these raid farms no longer work altogether. But we are also given 4 new types of potions in the game. With the weaving one, you can make a new automatic source of cobwebs. So using these I made the first renewable cobweb farm. And with the infested one, I was able to make infinite silverfish with drowning allays. And then using the oozing potion, I was able to splash it on the silverfish and convert them into slime, making an infinite source of slime blocks easily. And I use this in combination with the new wind charge potions to splash them on the silverfish in order to launch the player millions of blocks away. And during this time, they fixed it so that mobs that grow up won't clip into the walls and escape, so you can make my fox looting chicken farm with ease now. They then gave witches a big loot buff when it came to their redstone, probably to do with raids getting more nerfed, which means building my different types of AFK witch farms are more productive now and are now worth your time in building. They added it so that most entities will go through portals now, so something like jockeys that are specific to one type of dimension can now be transferred to the other dimensions, so you're no longer stuck keeping your weird jockeys in one dimension. We then get a change to the Obsidian platform, so now anytime something comes into the end dimension, it will no longer delete blocks that are on the platform, but instead will break down into their non-silk touch block form. Using this, I was able to make a super fast cobblestone farm that could run without using any redstone, along with its use in a whole bunch of other farms to automatically mine blocks without the player. We also got so Java players can now put leads on boats, which is a great way to move stuff like villagers, which can be quite challenging to move. We then seen a change to how reinforcements are placed into the game, so now the different types of zombie variations will only call in reinforcements of the same type. This means drowns will not summon in zombies, which will greatly nerf using zombies in order to get an infinite amount of copper. I'm working on a couple of solutions to this problem, one even using the Ender Dragon, so make sure you're subscribed with that bell notification clicked to all, that way you don't miss out on that video. So after the ominous bottle change for raid farms, we got 2 more nerfs to raid farms, which completely change how they spawn in and some other things, which forces all previous automatic raid farms to now be changed, so that I have this new design you guys can check out that actually lets you AFK and do raid farms. Then it was added so that ender pearls that are flying through the air now will automatically load new chunks, so So I use this to make some new automatic chunk loaders, and even a redstone programmable teleporter so it can teleport the player infinite amounts of distance without having any type of redstone connection to the actual device. This also made chunk loading a little bit easier to understand by the majority of the players. And I even made a fly machine which can fly into new chunks and automatically load them with a movable ender pearl chunk loader. We also got some villagers will close their trades when they get too far from you. This prevents players from getting infinite trades from a single villager without them having to renew it at their workstation. This makes it a bit harder to get tons of items that are unique to villagers. We then got the Creaking Awakening update, which introduces some new moss blocks and moss carpets, which we can automate using my moss farm, plus the new pale hanging moss, which I made this AFK farm for, which introduced the new pale oak tree. I also designed an automatic farm for this and we'll be showing it soon, but with it you get all the new types of wood, you also get the new saplings, and the wood can be crafted down to all the different variations. That update also introduced 2 types of flowers, which you can easily get by using my simple flower farm in the correct biome. We also got the new creaking mob, which can't normally be killed or drop any loot, but the creaking mobs can be used in a resin farm. I designed this simple resin farm as well as this fast one, which gets you tons of these blocks of resin which can then be crafted for all the different variations of bricks. With the last big technical change coming to zombified piglins and how they give XPs as well as gold ingots despite the player not technically killing any of these guys. This change hasn't been added into the actual game yet, but it's already been changed on the bug reports, so we know it's coming into the next snapshot in 2025. Which one was your favorite, and let me know if I missed any. Now see how I use some less known changes in order to get some rare discontinued mob items and blocks in the game, all by clicking on this playlist here. Major thanks to my monthly supporters, which allows me to dedicate so much time to doing these Minecraft videos. And I will see you guys all in the year 2025. Bye bye!